Right?
No, we do have.
No, I think we have 4 because I thought I saw on Councilman Coley. So can we start? And Councilwoman Easton, Council Vice President Easton, and Councilman Weldon Montague.
Okay. So public hearing on the calendar year 2024 local municipal budget of the city of Orange Township held via audio video conferencing on Monday, July 15th, 2024 at 6:02 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call. Councilmember Coley. Let's see you there. Oh, Councilman Coley. Okay, well, I do see you there. Okay, thank you. Council Vice President Neeson.
Here.
Thank you. Councilmember Hilbert is absent. Councilmember Montague III. Thank you. Councilmember Ross. Okay, Kim, I don't know if you may want to check to see if it's not allowing to be.
Tamara, I texted him. I texted him, Tamara.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Summers Johnson is present, and Council President Wilton.
Here.
Also present, we have Tamara Robinson, the Deputy Clerk, Chris Hartwhite, the Business Administrator, now Clements, our CFO, Gracia Montillis, our City Attorney, Blair Landolfi, our Budget Consultant, and also Marlon G. Towns, our Legislative Research Officer, and Tricia Scipio from the City Clerk's Office. Was there anyone that I missed?
Okay.
Thank you. At this time, we'll recognize a moment of silence. Thank you all. The requirements of NJSA 10:4-9 et set sunshine law has been met. A notice of this meeting was sent to the Star Ledger and published in the record transcript on July 3rd, 2024, posted on the council's website, on the city's website, and filed in the office of the city clerk. This is a public hearing for the calendar year 2024 local municipal budget. Is there a motion to open the public hearing on the 2024 budget for the city of Orange Township?
Move, Wooten.
That was a motion by Council President Wooten. Do I have a second? Yeah,
I'm gonna check again, okay?
Thank you. Just give us a few moments.
Council President.
It works now. It
Yes.
We
works.
have to stay unmuted. Will it let us mute
That's what I said,
until we're
Council
talking?
President, who's the host tonight? Is that?
It will. It
Okay.
will, and it's Kim so far, and I've talked to him. It's gonna allow you to mute and unmute.
Okay.
I think we were waiting for a second.
Yes, we were getting a second.
Second, Ross.
Okay, that was a motion to open a public hearing by Councilmember Wu and second by Councilmember Ross. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? This is an advertised public hearing on the calendar year 2024 municipal budget. Copies have been made to the public on the council's website and in the city council and on the city's website. Before opening this meeting, I wish to outline the procedure. All citizens will be allowed to comment through the raise hand feature during the public hearing. Citizens that wish to speak should remain on mute until acknowledged by the council president to speak. Citizens shall be allotted up to 5 minutes each to participate. Written comments submitted in advance of this meeting or appended to the final approved minutes. They will not be read aloud, and anyone submitting a written statement will not be permitted to also the city council reserves the right to respond or not respond during the meeting to any citizen submission.
I now declare the public hearing on the local municipal budget for the calendar year 2024 is open. Do we have anyone from the public who would like to speak? Miss Aisha Samuel? Miss Samuel, are you able to unmute?
Yeah, I just was able to unmute. I'm just waiting for you guys to start my time. Because I don't want to waste your time or mine.
Okay, it's 6:08.
Okay. I'm not exactly sure why the budget has increased 5 million from last year to this year. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I would like to hear from the person who, hold on one second, the person who actually found like, I think it was like $500,000 that wasn't being used somewhere. I want to hear from that person, the the budget committee. I think it's the budget finance person or something like that. I'm probably getting the wording wrong, and now I can't even find out where it was that I saw it, unfortunately. Let me see. Sorry about that. And the last thing is the settlement with I think his name is Carey. The last name is Carey. Anthony Carey. Why wasn't that settlement paid for through the insurance instead of now it's being added to the finance department?
Miss Samuel, is that all
Yeah.
your questions?
Yes, that is all of my questions.
Okay, B.A. Hartwike or CFO Now Clements, could you help her?
Sure. The 500 something and change was identified by the city council's budget consultant as potential cuts. We then met, the administration then met with the budget consultant. We went back and forth. We identified certain cuts that couldn't be made. And the recommendation is the recommendation that's been put before the board tonight on the amended budget. So we can identify the cuts independently. I'm sure that Blair has that information that are in the amended budget, but the 500,000 and change number was subsequently negotiated between the administration and the city council's budget consultant, and the recommendation is different than the 500,000. With respect to the carry settlement, it was not insured. It's not an insured cause of action, and therefore it's paid for out of city funds.
Just to comment a little bit more. So this is the public hearing on the introduced budget, Ms. Samuel. So the amendments that you're asking about, the public hearing for those will be on August 7th. And then just for your initial question, as far as the increases in the budget, salary and wages went up 4.8 million, and other operating expenses went up 1.5 million. Half of that was attributable to the pension fund. And then you have your workers' comp insurance, general liability insurance, and then health insurance that carry most of those increases. Thank you. So just so everyone knows, until the next person goes, this is the public hearing on the introduced budget. So every year we have an introduced budget where we start the process. That's where the administration passes the budget over to the council. Then the city council goes through with their department hearings, and then they make their cuts. Then those cuts are part of the amendments. There's a law, so 110.5 law, 1% of general appropriations, 10% increase or decrease of any line item, and then 5% increase the total amount to be raised by taxation. So if we check any of those boxes, then we have to publicize or do another public hearing on the amendments. So again, those amendments will have a public hearing on August 7th. This is the introduced budget public hearing.
Right, thank you for that. I missed a lot of the budget hearings this year because I was so sick, but I'm better now, so I will be tuning in for the August 7th meeting. And thank you guys for answering my question. I do have one more question though, but did you guys
Ms.
make
Samuels,
it?
excuse me, Ms. Samuels, your time is up though.
Okay, sorry, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Nordia Gibbs,
President?
please.
Council President, I wish to be recognized.
Councilwoman Hilbert.
Yes, I'd just like to be recognized that I joined the call.
Yes,
Okay.
I was just gonna get to that once we got a break to on a second, but yes, Councilwoman Hilbert joined us at 6:09 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Gibbs.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good.
My name is Nordia Gibbs. I reside on Truman Avenue in Orange. I'm just curious as to how do we determine salaries for employees in the township? It's literally all I was able to look at. I understand pensions and wages increases and all that, but I'm looking at West Orange because they also have their budget or proposed budget online. We're looking at a massive difference in pretty similar position. Like they're, 12.2 square miles or 2.2 square miles. I'm trying to think they might need more people to run their administration than Orange. For example, city council, you have a $30,000 salary compared to West Orange at $12,487. I'd assume the roles and responsibilities are similar. So I'm just curious, how does the salaries for employees gets determined? Can I?
BA.
Sure,
Ms.
Council
Gibbs is
President.
Okay.
The salaries are determined in two ways. First, there are 5 collective bargaining units. That would be the PBA, the SOA, the FMBA, the FOA, and OMEBA. And each of those have a negotiated contract that specifies the compensation rate for each member of the union. Those people that are not covered by the union agreement are covered by a salary ordinance that sets forth the salary. And there is a salary ordinance that goes by civil service position and sets forth the range within those salaries. And then there's a separate ordinance for directors and constitutional officers
Okay, so
and the council.
all right, so I kind of understand what you're saying, but we're looking at, let's say, a comparative difference. The mayor, Dwayne, 55,000. The mayor was Orange, 24,000. And like, I'm hoping we can go department by department to see where we can maybe cut some staff because of the high proposed salary that I'm looking at. Tax assessor, 134,000. Receptionist, 102,000. I've never met a receptionist that made $102,000 a year compared to West Orange. Your clerk in that office, same tax assessor's office, is at 57. So for a smaller township, I'd expect these salaries to be a little bit more comparable. That's all.
BA Hartwick or CFO now, Clements, would y'all like to take that? Could you explain to Ms. Gibbs about longevity, how that takes into accountability someone's salary? And Chris, could you, BA Chris, I'm sorry, could you go back over the salary ordinances? And if, let Ms. Gibbs know, like, BA Hartwick?
Yes. So each position in civil service, in all of the unions for people who were hired prior to a specific date include longevity payments for the amount of time that they've been in the city's employment. So on top of the salary, many of those employees receive a longevity component, which significantly increases their salary. With respect to the ordinances, the salary ordinances are proposed by the administration and approved by the council. Those salary ordinances set forth the ranges for the specific positions that are identified. There are 4 constitutional positions, which includes the assessor, the tax collector, the clerk, and the CFO. And all of their ranges are the same, although their salaries may differ individually based on years of experience. They're entitled to a raise every year by statute equal to the average percentage raise that's granted across the board throughout the city. So that's how their salaries are determined. Salaries covered by salary ordinances are determined by the salary ordinance.
Okay, Ms. Gibbs, your time is up. Do we have anyone else that would like to speak? Is there a motion to close the public session?
Motion to close public session?
Second, Coley.
I apologize. My
I'm
internet
trying to
seems to be having
locate
some
the
issue.
hands and I'm having problems. Where are the little hands for us to indicate one of those?
So
Reaction.
do we need to take back
Ms.
our
Morrell?
motion?
Mrs.
Yes.
Morrell? We've
Yes.
closed the public session. I guess I'll take a poll of my council members to see if you would like to rescind those motions and allow Ms. Morrell to speak. Yes, no, aye.
Council President, since there wasn't a vote, they can just take back their motion and second.
Okay, taking back
Thank you.
motion to close Summers Johnson?
And the second to take back,
Second, take back Coley.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 So,
Mrs. Morel?
thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. I just have a couple of questions in terms of the format. I'd like to know why the introduced budget is separate from the amended budget for discussion this evening, when none of the announcements that I received indicated that the format had been changed from a couple of years ago. Let me give you an example. The end of the year final year-to-date totals, I did not see. The format, or I should say the absence of that in the format, makes it challenging to follow the reports and do a comparison from year to year, so that we have some sort of idea as to where some of the changes have occurred, specifically increases, and whether or not there are any wide variances amongst those increases, or did they occur gradually over a period of time? And those are my basic questions about the format.
Okay.
But I would like to know, is it possible to go back to the format of a couple of years ago, where we did receive the cumulative end of year totals, so that we could do a comparison? I know that it means probably more work for the finance department, but that change took place several years ago at the behest of residents, as well as the members of the Citizens Budget Advisory Committee. It was helpful in terms of understanding and following for those who followed the budget and try and monitor it from the limited information that's contained in the bill list, to see where there might be some emerging trends, so that we, the residents, and other stakeholders, as well as the council members, can query them. And I'll stop there, because it would probably, if I continue, probably would just generate additional questions. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Morel.
So to answer your question, the official budget document and the budget binders both have the prior year and the current year numbers. So they'll have the prior year data charge, they'll have the prior year what was appropriated, and then it has the current year what's being requested to be appropriated for this year. So that's an official budget document that's posted on the city's website and in the budget binder, which we provide to the CBAC, the council, and all the departments. As far as the advertising surrounding this being the public hearing for the introduced budget, there's a 110.5 law that applies. Since about 2016 or 17, the city has done an annual cap waiver, and that cap waiver checks the box for the 10% increase or decrease to any line item. So every year after we amend the introduced budget, we have to do another public hearing, advertise for the amendments. So that's been consistent year to year. Whether it's advertised, it's advertised as introducing and amended. That's the way it has to be. But just for clarity, that's the reason why we have the public hearing tonight on the introduced budget. And then we'll have the public hearing on the amended budget on August 7th.
Will the missing data be provided?
What data is missing?
The data in terms of the documents that I saw, and I have to apologize because I didn't receive them until this afternoon because they were illegible on the website. They were so small.
Okay.
Between my reading glasses and a large magnifying glass, I could not discern what those numbers were.
So you're talking about the resolution that was circulated with the budget amendment showing what the original line item went from to. This is also,
Correct.
yes, ma'am. This is also consistent with what we do every year. This is the resolution format that we use. Then once this is voted up, because after this public hearing, the city council has to vote on that resolution. Once that's voted up and then we have an official number, we'll put these back into the budget document, and then that'll be our adopted budget, which will be circulated. But this is consistent. Nothing was withheld. Nothing is missing. This is just the format that's used for the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Mr. Tyrone Tarver?
Hello, can you hear me?
Mr. Tarver, please put on your camera, please, sir. And yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, can you see me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Tyrone Tarver, 258 Ogden Street. Yeah, I have some questions about the budget. Okay, so I think it was stated tonight that salary and wages and raises up to $4.8 million accounted for the $5 million increase in the tax increase, in the municipal tax increase. Was that correct?
No, she talked about general appropriations, and I said that the amount was increased by $4 million.
Okay, I thought I heard you say something about salary and wages increased by 4 something.
That is correct.
Okay, so how does that relate to what you just said? I'm sorry if I misunderstood what you said before.
Could you please re-ask your question?
Mr. Tarver, why don't you ask all of your questions and then we'll respond. That's the format that we've been following all night. It's the format that we're going to continue to follow. So if you could just ask all of your questions and then we'll respond to what we can respond to or will respond to.
Okay. Okay, whatever the amount of the salary and wages amounted to this year, were all of these raises already negotiated via contracts and are only now taking effect? Also with salary and wages, do these increases also include anticipated new hires for this year? And if so, what departments will these new hires be occurring in? A few years ago, when I served on the CBAC, I raised concerns about salaries not being equal to the amount of experience a number of employees actually had within the city. That was maybe 7 or 8 years ago. Are there any, has that been addressed in the last few years to make sure the amount of experience actually matches the steps or the levels of salaries that the employees are receiving right now? In terms of the municipal tax increase in general, last year Orange had the second highest tax increase in Essex County. This year, last year, I believe, was somewhere around 7.8%. This year is 8.1% from the previous year. I still think it's huge. I haven't had a chance to crawl through the new budget. The last thing what I would like to know is what will be the new effective tax rate if this introduced budget holds. What will that be for the upcoming year or for this current year? And I'll hold my questions there.
Okay. Couple of questions. I might work backwards, Mr. Tarver. So the percentage increase that we have for the introduced budget is 5.2. The total increase for the introduced budget is 5.2%. As far as you asked about the tax rate, 3.8%, 3.8. I have the amended in front of me. Give me a minute. You also asked the question as far as the salaries being comparable to experience. I would like to pass that to Chris Hartwhite. BA, would you like to take that question?
Sure. The The salaries, first of all, more than 94% of the salaries in the city are governed by collective bargaining agreements. And the collective bargaining agreements are stepped so that a first year starts at a particular level, then they get a step increase. Then their second year, they get a step increase. So the salaries are commensurate with experience in police, fire, public works, and community service, etc. The salaries that are not covered by collective bargaining agreements are determined based upon experience, qualifications, education, and a variety of other factors associated with the determination of both hiring and compensation. So I think the answer to your question is yes, those things have been addressed in the last several years.
Thank you, B.A. Hartwike. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Is there a motion to close public session?
Motion to close the public session, Summers Johnson.
Is there a second?
Second, Montague.
Tamara?
Motion to close by Councilmember Summers Johnson, second by Councilmember Montague the third. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Citizen Budget Advisory Committee? Their representative for presentation?
Yes, okay, now I'm unmuted. Council President, council members, this is Carl Fields Jr. I've been selected to present the CBAC report on the 2024 budget. I should mention before I start that our report will be made available to the city clerk, who can distribute it to city council and to the residents on and as needed, as they would like to see the report in full.
Thank you, sir.
The CBAC met 5 times to review the calendar year 2024 mayor's recommended budget. CBAC also attended each departmental budget scheduled by the city council. CBAC members who actively participated were Charles Pryor, Carol Perkins, Charles Bailey, Shara Morrow, Antoinette Hall, Karen Wells, Jonathan Beckford, Corin Rhymes, and Carl Fields Jr. The challenge facing the committee was the unduly long time to receive the budget book and the truncated time to give due consideration to each department. Therefore, our comments have, with some exceptions, been focused more on the process as opposed to specific numbers in each department. We applaud those council members who focused on departmental specifics. First departmental discussion, police department. Why does Orange Police Department carry approximately 180 police officers? We are overstaffed in the department when compared to our population. As per the FBI website, the national average for sworn officers is 2.4 per 1,000 residents and 3.4 per resident for total staff. Currently, Orange PD has 151 sworn officers and 180 total staff. Per the ratio on the FBI website, we are way over. Per the metric, we should have 136 total staff and 94 sworn officers for a town the size of Orange. In addition, of the 151 sworn officers, 32 are sergeant rank or higher, which is a supervisory position. That is a ratio of 4.7 officers to 1 supervisor within the Orange Police Department. Why do we have so many supervisor rank officers for so few police? It appears to us that the OPD is top-heavy. Next, why does the Orange Police Department spend over $1 million annually in overtime while we carry so many sworn police officers? If we are staffed at a level above the national average, why is our overtime budget $1.4 million? It stands to reason that the OPD should be adequately staffed and not require so many overtime hours for the force. The statement has been shared that salaries are contractual and cannot be altered as a part of this process. But what can be discussed as part of this process should be the size of the Orange Police Department, and if the Orange Police Department must have a staff with so many ranked officers. Next department discussed, fire department. Why is the Orange Fire Department so top-heavy? There are 96 total staff, 6 administrative staff, and 24 firefighters with the rank of captain or higher. Seems to be quite a bit. Next department, the library. Every effort must be undertaken to determine where the library trust, which is managed by PNC Bank, to ascertain control of funds that could be utilized for the operating expenses of the library. Recommendation: CBAC should become a permanent standing committee. Number 2, parking authority board should be established and put into action immediately. Number 3, the overall budget should be reduced by $1 million. Number 4, all grants received by the City of Orange should be subject to quarterly reporting to the City Council and made available to residents upon request. Our end statement. As the proposed budget does not contain real cost savings for the residents of Orange, the CBAC cannot recommend approval of the 2024 budget. That ends our report, Council President.
Thank you, Mr. Field. Clerk, can we move the agenda?
Resolution 347, 2024, a resolution to read the budget, the calendar year 2024 budget by title. Do I have a motion?
Motion
Move.
to read the budget by title.
Second, Wooten.
That was a motion by Councilwoman Summers Johnson, second by Councilwoman Wooten. On that motion. Seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley,
Yes.
Council Vice President Eaton,
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert,
Yes.
Councilmember Montague III,
Yes.
Councilmember Ross,
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson,
Yes.
Council President Wooten.
Yes.
All right, resolution 347 is passed. Resolution number 348, 2024, a resolution to amend the City of Orange Township calendar year 2024 municipal budget. Is there a motion?
Motion Montague.
Second, Summers Johnson.
So motion to adopt by Councilmember Montague III and second by Councilmember Summers Johnson. On that motion? Seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley,
Yes.
Councilmember Eason,
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert,
Yes.
I'm sorry, Councilmember, thank you. Councilmember Montague III,
Yes.
Councilmember Ross,
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson,
Yes.
Council President Council President Wooten.
Yes.
Right, that was 3/48/2024. The motion passed. Was there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Summers Johnson.
Second, Wooten.
That was a motion to adjourn by Councilmember Summers Johnson, second by Councilmember Wilton. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? This meeting is adjourned at, this meeting is adjourned at 6:40 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you.